Picayune Wednesday, you know what that means. Daniel Clifton, editor of the Picayune, is in our studios this morning. Good morning, Daniel.
Morning. How y'all doing today?
We're doing good. Latest edition of the Picayune out today. You'll find it on your doorsteps, and at the end of the conversation, if you're not getting the Picayune, we'll tell you how you can go about doing that. But let's start off talking about what's going on in this week's edition. Front page, we had him on the show yesterday morning talking to him about it, but Marble Falls is going to be in the spotlight.
Okay, yeah, the Daytripper.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Back in time. What?
The Daytripper.
How do you put up with her?
I just ignore. The Daytripper came to the Marble Falls area, and they're going to have a big premiere of the show about Marble Falls coming up Thursday night, right?
Yeah, Uptown Theatre. RSVPs are required because it's a limited seating, so you might want to get on that.
It's free. Call ahead of time.
You want to phone ahead so you don't be standing out there. It's got to be entertaining with Chet.
Yeah.
Just watching that show, you just want to.
He's a hoot. He really is the nicest guy too, and it's definitely going to be a fun evening.
Yeah, and they're going to feature all kinds of stuff. Did they come and talk to you about the Picayune newspaper while he was here?
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they passed us up too.
They passed us up too.
Oh well.
I guess we're just not famous enough.
I guess we'll have
but
to.
We're fun.
We'll have to talk about doing episode 2.
There you go. There you go.
Well, so anyway, if you want to see the latest edition of the Daytripper featuring on Marble Falls, it is happening Thursday night. There's a complete story on the front page of the newspaper. Rachel over at the R Bar, she's all excited about it.
Well, yeah, that's going to be a lot of attention for her and stuff. And it's a great venue, really great venue to go see it. And
perfect place to
Chet
do
will
that.
be there to kick it all off. And
yeah, he'll speak. I think the door's going to open at 7. Then Chet's going to speak about 8:15, and then the actual watching party will begin at 8:30. So.
All right, read all about it in the latest edition of the Picayune. And of course, just a couple of weeks away now is Halloween. Ooh. And Daniel, you're going to be doing stories right up until Halloween about haunted places up here in the Hill
we
Country.
try to pick some of the more ghoulish places. Last week we had the house out there at Kingsland was used in the movie, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Which they say, by the way, I read this morning that movie was the biggest movie ever filmed in Texas.
Was it really?
Did not know that.
Wow, but it's had legs.
Alamo?
Yeah, it even beat out the Alamo. Yeah.
Well, I guess for longevity, and it's one of those campy, movies that everybody goes, "Oh, we gotta go see this."
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it was really cool. You telling us last week about the house that's in Kingsland. Now, what do you got for us in this week?
Well, this is more of a geological feature.
Okay.
But it's one with a notorious history.
I think I know what it is.
It's Dead Man's Hole.
Yes, I knew it.
Ooh, Dead Man's Hole. Tell us about that.
Well,
I'm not familiar with it.
Well, it was discovered in 1821 by a naturalist, but in the 1860s, during the Civil War, it became very a place you wanted to avoid, because during the time there was this, and I didn't know the group but people who were very, very pro-Confederacy, very pro, not just people who were pro-Confederacy, but the rabid ones.
The radical ones.
Were called fire eaters by the Unionist folks, because I don't know where the moniker came from, but if you're pro-Union during this time in the Burnett County era, it wasn't a good time to let people know where you stood, because you disappeared.
Really?
Some did, including the county judge.
Wow, and so that's where the Dead Man's Hole came up?
That's where the name came up,
and
there used to be
and
apparently there was an oak tree over the hole at that time, a larger one. There's a couple small ones there. I guess I don't know if they got rid of it on purpose, but and allegedly that's where they'd hang people from and then dispose the bodies in the hole.
Oh, wow!
And the number of people, I guess it depends on who you talk to, but it goes up to over 30. But though most official records, and we say that because there's really no official record of how many people, there's more around 5, but who knows how many people ended up in there during that period of time.
And gruesome.
So is it supposed to be haunted?
We don't know if it's haunted. There was some speculation. Some people, there's a couple of those paranormal places. Folks come out. One group said they didn't find anything, but another group said they hit recorded. And I'm not sure what the official name of a recording of voices, ghost voices.
It's called an EVP.
There you go. So they detected some EVP.
Wow.
What's that mean?
Well, read that story.
It means electronic voice phenomena.
Why does she know that?
I'm a ghost hunter.
She's a nerd when it comes to stuff like that.
She's a
I
phenomenon.
just showed my nerd card.
She's a phenomenon.
So read the story about the Dead Man's Hole of the latest edition of the Picayune. And finally, a big day coming up this weekend for Fort Croghan, right?
Yeah, and this is a little more upbeat history.
This isn't quite
we go from the macabre
scary.
to this. Hey,
Yeah.
Fort Croghan was, if you didn't know, was one of the first it was before it was a fort. It was actually a station, a McCullough station, which was where the Texas Rangers would pass through on their way to kind of protect the frontier. And there's a whole frontier forts in part of Texas going up along there. And then eventually Fort Croghan became a federal fort, and there was some federal Union U.S. military was stationed there to get the fort thing. And it was along that line that was kind of the western frontier at the time in Texas during the 1850s and things. And so part of Fort Croghan remains, and they'll have a Fort Croghan Day, and you can go learn about the history and the early settlement of Burnett County. Fort Croghan predates Burnett County.
Right. You need to go, Ed. If you have not been to Fort Croghan yet, you need to go.
Yeah, I need to, because I remember we had somebody on the show that told us about that a number of months ago. But this Saturday is the day that you can go and take a tour and see what it's all about.
Yeah, and they're open. The fort is actually open several times throughout the year, but this is where they bring in living reenactors. So people will be dressed up in costume. There'll be folks from the
butter,
churning things. And then not last year maybe. No, I think they were back last year, but the group from Fort Hood, the 1st Cavalry, comes out, and they bring a Gatling gun.
Oh, awesome.
And that thing, it is loud, and it's fun to watch, and you're just, that is so cool.
So that's going on this weekend. You can get all the details in the latest edition of the Picayune. And remember, it is available today. The new edition is out. If people are not getting it, how do they go about doing that?
Well, you call the front office at 830-693-7152 and ask the ladies up front to help you out, get you on the date, get you on the list.
And remember, as always, the Picayune is absolutely free. Thank you, Daniel. Talk to you next week.